Hello viewer, today I gonna explain how to interface an accelerometer with Raspberry Pi. Here's the list of contents of this video. Firstly, I gonna give brief introduction to accelerometer, followed by quick demonstration of the project where I've interfaced Raspberry Pi with accelerometer, and then I'll quickly walk through the accelerometer datasheet, and that's when we're gonna dive deep into Python code. So let's get started. What is an accelerometer? Accelerometer is an electromechanical device used to measure acceleration forces. Now these forces can be static or dynamic. There are different types of accelerometers. These types are classified based on their working principle. In case of capacitive MEMS accelerometer, acceleration forces cause change in capacitance. Now this change in capacitance is measured to calculate the acceleration forces. Whereas in case of piezoresistive accelerometer, acceleration forces cause change in resistance. On the other hand, piezoelectric accelerometers absorb vibrations to produce equivalent electric pulses, which are then processed to calculate magnitude of vibration. Now the advantage of capacitive MEMS accelerometer is that they are very small in size. Due to this reason, they are widely used in consumer electronics. I've used one of such accelerometers, MC6470, in this project. MC6470 is a 6-axis sensor manufactured by M-Cube. It is a combo of 3-axis accelerometer sensor and 3-axis magnetometer sensor. It can measure acceleration from minus 16G to plus 16G, and it can be interfaced over I2C protocol. So let me give a quick demonstration of this project. So here's the schematics of my circuit. MC6470, it is interfaced with Raspberry Pi over I2C bus. And I've provided power supply to this IC with 3.3 volts from Raspberry Pi itself. It is important to provide pull-up resistors for SEL and SDA pins of I2C bus. I have used 4.7 kilo ohms as pull-up resistances. Now I'll show you the hardware of this project. This is my Raspberry Pi powered over USB, and this is the PCB with MC6470 IC mounted on it. Now stop judging the case of this PCB. Let's just focus on accelerometer functionality. As I've shown in the schematics, these two are the power supply lines, 3.3 volts and ground. And these are I2C connections, SDA and SEL. Now let's just run this and check out the results. I have actually created a Python package to configure and read data from MC6470 from Raspberry Pi. Anyone can install this package and then easily access MC6470 IC. I've also linked my GitHub repository in the description of this video for your reference. For now, let's install this package and run it. I've connected my laptop and Raspberry Pi to same Wi-Fi. So basically these two are in same local area network. And I've connected to Raspberry Pi over PuTTY. Firstly, I'm creating a virtual environment in which I can install this package and run it. Okay, now let's install the Python package using pip. Installation of package is now completed. We will now have to import this package and use it. I've actually created a demo Python script in which I'll import this installed package and then access the accelerometer data. Let's just look into that script. So here I've imported time module so that I can call time.sleep periodically within the infinite while loop. And in the second line I have imported MC6470, that is the package that we have installed just now. And then I have created an instance of accelerometer class within MC6470 package. Note that I haven't passed any arguments to this accelerometer constructor, so I'm just using the default configuration, that is 14-bit resolution and range of plus or minus 8G. Now within this infinite while loop, I'm calling getData method, which returns acceleration in all three axes. I am printing these values over here. Apart from the acceleration in all three axes, using these values we can also measure three-dimensional orientation of the sensor. Just to show it as an example, I have measured the orientation in XY plane and printed its angular position over here. Let's run the script. Now we can observe that acceleration in x-axis and y-axis are almost equal to 0, but in z-axis it is close to 9.81 meter per second square.
But if you look at the hardware, it's not moving in any direction. So ideally acceleration should be equal to 0 in all three axes. But why is it equal to gravitational acceleration in z-axis? Well, it is because accelerometers measure proper acceleration but not coordinate acceleration. If you are interested in knowing more about what proper acceleration is and how it is different from conventional acceleration that we all know, you can check out the link in the description of this video.
Now let's check the orientation measurement. As of now, the angular position is around 180 degrees. Let me just rotate it in anti-clockwise direction by 90 degrees. Now the angular position has changed to 90 degrees. Now if I rotate it in anti-clockwise direction by 90 degrees more, then the angular position should be around 0, right? Let's check it out. Okay, it is close to 0 as expected. Now I'll rotate it in anti-clockwise direction by 90 degrees more. It is 270 as expected. Now let's get back to the initial position. It's 180 degrees again as expected. So the measurement is working as expected. Now let's look at the datasheet of this IC. This is the package orientation of this IC. As you can see here, this IC can measure acceleration in all three axes. Let us first understand how to measure acceleration in x-axis, and then we can apply same concept to measure acceleration in other two axes. To understand how to measure acceleration in x-axis, let us look at the register summary of this IC. These two are the registers that we need to access. This is low address byte and this is high address byte. Each of these registers is 8 bits long. So total 16 bits of memory is used to store acceleration data in x-axis. Note that this accelerometer can measure acceleration in both positive and negative directions. So this is a signed value represented in 2's complement form. But not all 16 bits are used to store acceleration data. Basically, we can choose the number of bits in which we can store the acceleration data. And that is done by writing to the output configuration register over here. As you can see here, the low significant 3 bits are used to choose the resolution of the accelerometer. So we can choose from 6 bit to 14 bit resolution for this accelerometer. And we can also select range of measurement of this acceleration. It varies from plus or minus 2g to plus or minus 16g. G is nothing but the gravitational acceleration value. It is equals to 9.81 meter per second square. Now let's look into the source code. This is the package that we have used earlier to access MC6470 IC. Let me just open MC6470.py. I've used SMBus package to access I2C in Raspberry Pi. Here's the accelerometer class that we have instantiated earlier in demo.py. Let's look at the constructor of this class. The arguments of this constructor are I2C bus that we are using in Raspberry Pi, A5 state. One of the pins in MC6470 IC can be used to select the I2C address of this IC. It can be in low state or high state, and that value is passed to the constructor, default being 0. As mentioned earlier, resolution can be chosen from 6-bit to 14-bit, default being 14-bit resolution, and range of measurement can be chosen from plus or minus 2G to plus or minus 16G, default being plus or minus 8G. Now, based on the logic level at A5 pin, I2C address of MC6470 can be selected. Here I have instantiated SMBus class. Now we will have to write the config register of MC6470 IC with the values of range and resolution that are passed to this constructor. By default, MC6470 IC will be in standby mode after reset. But to be able to measure acceleration, it had to be woken up, and that is done by writing to mode register over here. Now, just to make sure that we are giving enough time for MC6470 IC to wake up, I've used a delay of 100 milliseconds. That's all about the constructor of this class. Now recollect that getData is the method that we have called on the instance of accelerometer class to obtain accelerations in all three axes. This is the method with which we can access accelerometer data register over I2C. Here I have actually accessed 6 bytes of data to measure acceleration in all three axes. But as of now we are only interested in x-axis. That is the first 2 bytes of these 6 bytes. This is low byte data and this is high byte data. This high byte data is left shifted by 8 bits and then OR operation is performed with low byte data to get the whole 16-bit data. Now this 16-bit data is passed to a method called convert digital to analog, which is defined over here. Now the 16-bit data that we have accessed from MC6470 registers would be represented in 2's complement form. So first we will have to interpret whether this value is positive or negative, and based on that we will have to convert it into a signed decimal value. This value could then be converted into acceleration data in meter per second square based on the range and resolution that we have chosen for MC6470 IC. This is how convert digital to analog method would return acceleration in x-axis. Similarly, we can measure acceleration in y-axis and z-axis and then return all these three values. If you are interested in knowing more details about what 2's complement is and how to interpret and process 2's complement data, you can check out the link in the description of this video. That way you will get to have in-depth understanding of what's going behind the screens of this method convert digital to analog. Now let's understand how to measure orientation in XY plane. If we look at the results obtained in testing of orientation measurement, the IC was initially at this position and orientation at this position was 180 degrees. And acceleration in x and y axis are 9.81 and 0 respectively. But if we move this IC in anti-clockwise direction by 90 degrees, acceleration in x and y axis will change to 0 and minus 9.81 respectively. So throughout this circle, acceleration in x and y axis will vary from minus 9.81 to plus 9.81. Assuming these two acceleration values as Cartesian coordinates, if we pass these values to atan2 method in Python, that would return as angular position in radians. And this value will be ranging from minus pi to plus pi. After converting this radians into degrees, I have added 180 to it because I want the angle to range from 0 to 360 degrees instead of minus 180 to plus 180. And that final value of angular position in degrees would be returned by getAngle in degrees method, which was the other method that we called on instance of accelerometer class in demo.py. That's it for this video guys. Thank you.